The Grande is going back to Surrey, and we're going with her. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Karen's Grande reunion. They finally gave our girl Karen Huger a spinoff. I knew this was going to happen at some point, that they would give Karen a spinoff because, hell, she's Karen. It is what it is. So I was kind of happy for her. You know, I don't really go for all these spinoffs. But, child, it's Potomac and it's Karen. And Karen's good fun TV because Karen's a hot mess. So listen, Karen Wooden, aka Karen Huger, baby, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Now, this whole thing is really about her pulling her family together, and they're doing their first ever, and it shocked me that this is their first ever family reunion. Like, I'm like, wow, I mean, as much family pride as she actually has, I am really shocked to find out that they don't have like a family reunion that's been going on for years and years and years, because they seem to be very close. Even though they don't seem like one of those families, they don't seem that they talk all the time, but they're close. You know, when need be, they're close. And she said that during the program. She said, you know, I think it's time that we see each other more, because we really only see each other when it's a funeral. So, like I said, basically, when need be, they come together. But you could, when you see Karen's family filming, anytime we've ever seen them in the past, you could feel the family love right through the screen. And that, you know, there's not a whole lot of stuff about Karen Huger that's very genuine. You know, because Karen puts on airs and she do all kind of stuff. But whenever we've seen her with other family members that have actually done guest spots on the show on Potomac, or if she's met up, anything that involved her actual family, I always felt the genuine love and connection of her and her family members. So I'm glad she got this special. I'm glad they actually are having a family reunion. I come from a huge family, and we had family reunions yearly. You know, I made a choice whenever I wanted to and didn't want to go, but there was always a family reunion going on. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's that kind of thing. So I'm happy for her. You know, I think every family should actually have that. These young people need to know who their relatives are. A lot of mess stays down when you know who it is that you're actually related to. Get into it. Anyway, all them old secrets, you know, don't get me started. That's a whole nother video for another time. Them old people kept some good ass secrets, honey. Woo, baby, listen. Anyway, moving on. So Karen's real name was Karen Wooden, and they have the Wooden farm and estates and all of that. Her aunt Val is the one who actually owns the farm. Karen's father's sister is Aunt Val. And we found out very early on, everybody's scared of Aunt Val, okay? They're scared of her. She's a pistol-packing old woman, honey, and they scared of her, child. They scared of her. Anyway, the first thing we see Raven. Now, we ain't seen Raven in forever. And she comes in, and I said, oh, Raven's changed. Remember, she was so sweet and nice and innocent, and just, she was a joy. She really was, and she is definitely the apple of Karen's eye, okay? Baby, Miss Raven come back. She looked good. They showed, like, pictures. She's been doing a lot of traveling. Showed a lot of pictures of Raven. Baby, Miss Raven was doing it in them pictures. You hear me? I said, check her out. She had the one little picture. She had her little bathing suit, and you know, she really looked good in those pictures. Beautiful photos. And she's growing up, so you can actually see she doesn't look like a little girl anymore. You know, she doesn't look young. She looks like a young woman. And she come in, baby, she got this new attitude. I said, I'm feeling good from my head to my shoes. Come on, Miss Raven, and tell us what you do, honey. She said, I am the mini Grande in the making. I said, uh-oh. Uh-oh. I said, okay. Got my eye on you, Raven. I said, all right. Listen, could we have another reality star coming right on up out of the Huger mansion? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Come on, Raven. Anyway, so first things first. Karen that made it very plain. Okay, you got the farm in Surrey, and she's going to stay in Henrico. Henrico's 40 miles away. It's 40 minutes away, rather. 40 minutes away from the farm, because they don't even have like a 5-star hotel or anything inside of Surrey. She says she's working on that. So, okay, cool. So she's going to stay in Henrico, and she's going to do, there's going to have like the cookout, the actual family reunion is going to be on the farm. And then they're going to do like the meet and greet and a get together the first night in Henrico at the house that she's actually going to rent there. So I said, well, that's probably going to be good. And they'll get to be all dressed up because nobody's going down to the farm and get all dressed up. So that's that. Which is funny because when they did show Aunt Val's house was sharp down there on the farm, honey. It's totally modern, really pretty house. But anyway. Okay, so here's some of the people on this show. You got David and Megan. Those are Val's kids, okay? Karen loves her some David, and she speaks very highly of David. David this and David that. And we've seen David on Real Housewives of Potomac. And so he's so sharp, and he's this and he's that, and he's single. Anyway, and then you got Megan, okay? And they all look alike. This whole clan looks alike, child. And then you got Sharon. Sharon is Karen's cousin. Alyssa is Karen's niece. That's Karen's brother's daughter. Okay? So that's that. That's some of the people. And we're gonna meet some more. Anyway, Val owns the farm. David wants to speak. When they got there, who was in the car was David, Megan, and Sharon were all in the car together. Yeah. And Alyssa. All four of them were in the car. David drove, and they came to Karen's house. And I guess it was like a halfway point between there and Surrey. So wherever they all came from, they came there, and then they went on to Surrey. They stayed the night over at Karen's. And they had talked when they were at Karen's, and this is when we found out what the real situation is. This show really ain't all about the family reunion. This show is really about ownership and succession of that farm. That's what this show is really all about. Okay? Because I said, what we going to do? I mean, is they going to be cutting up at this family reunion, or is it going to be like a Medea family reunion? Or what is it? It's really about the business of the farm and the owning of the farm and the succession of the farm. That's what this program is really about. That's what's going to hold us in our seats. Okay? Because again, you know, they ain't all gonna be fighting with each other because they love each other, and you could always see that. So that wasn't gonna work. Anyway, so they all said, you know, we are the younger ones, and we've all talked about this, and we really think that you should be the one, Aunt Karen, to go and talk to Val, you know, because everybody's scared of her. Karen wasn't gung-ho about talking to Val at all because she's scared of her too. So Ray ends up telling them, you know, he shared how his family actually lost their land by not taking care of things before stuff happened down the road. So they're like, okay. So they're like, okay, thanks, Ray, for that. Karen asked all the youngins what their situation was. What do you feel that, you know, what's your feelings about the land? They're like, well, it's a part of me. You know, each one basically, it's a part of me. It's, you know, it's owed to us. It's ours, you know, and it should definitely fall to us after, you know, the succession should actually be us. We've put time, work, and everything else onto the land. This, that, and the other. Now, Alyssa I think it was no, it was Sharon. Sharon didn't put as much work onto the land, but she's saying how her parents had actually put all their blood, sweat, and tears into the land. So definitely she, and she keeps in touch, and she's willing to go in and do work. This is the other thing. Karen was given some good lessons about farming, and especially farming for blacks, and how just in the United States as a whole, how farming is just not big business so much anymore. It used to really be booming, but now it's just not so much anymore. And this is something David had the idea of putting a winery on the land. Listen, wineries do well. Yes, they do. So I was like, okay, so this was the thing. So Karen's like, this sounds good. These young people have ideas to bring us into the next, use the next generation to bring us into the future. Make some money off of this. And definitely it should be theirs. Let them, do that. Raven, which I said, see, I like Raven. I've always liked Raven. Raven was very real about it. Raven said, listen, I don't feel as though I'm owed anything. Because she's the one, her and her brother are the other two. They're the last two of the youngins. She said, I'm not owed anything because I didn't really grow up being a part of that part of my family like that. I didn't lose any blood, sweat, and tears into it. I just don't, and I don't need it. I don't feel that, that just ain't even my thing. But I support you all. I definitely want to see everything go, and it is a part of my family, and it's part of my lineage. I support you all, but no, I think it should go to you four. I said, well, that was very, very adult, and that tells a lot about Raven's character. That tells a lot about Raven's character. I said, okay, because, listen, land, funerals, and weddings will tear a family apart. Do you understand? It will. It's a mess. And money stuff tears a family up if you let it. Anyway, moving on. Then we talked about Bridget. Bridget is Karen's baby sister, who's bossy, okay? And Ray spoke upon their little banter back and forth, that they have like a sibling rivalry. And I actually was watching Andy's show, What Happens Next, and Karen was on there. She said she was pissed at Ray for even mentioning that. I guess because it just came across a little negative, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And he was saying that there's a little resentment behind how Karen got up and left. She got up and she left, and the sister was there taking care of the parents, and then the parents passed away and everything. So yeah, Karen didn't like the fact that Ray made that statement in that confessional, and it said it came across a little. I didn't think it came across negative. I think it came across as real. It was what it was. It was what it was, and that's the way it be. Anyway, moving on. They get on their way going down. We find out Brandon, Karen's son Brandon, not coming. He's not coming. He's stuck at work, so he ain't coming. And that Bridget would not be there for the first night for Karen's party over at Henrico. She wouldn't actually be making it there, so maybe she'll come in later. So here was the big thing about the party. Of course, they had to get all done up. First morning when they wake up, they get down there. David is a male version of Karen. He said, Karen's our the bougie cousin. So are you, David. When he's like, I ain't sharing no room with none of that. Again, apple of Karen's eye. I said David is a male version of Karen. Anyway, and he's helping carry the show as well. He is male Karen. That's all. Everybody comes on to the party. Before that, in the morning, they all had their matching pajamas. I said, that's cute. Everybody, the males and the females, all had these matching pajamas. That was cute. And they talk, you know, everybody's nervous about this Karen talking to Val thing. They're building this whole thing up. And Karen goes and overshares. Talking about, yeah, me and Ray got busy last night. And even all the nieces and nephews was like, oh, TMI. It's like, yeah, we broke it on down. I was like, Karen, why? Why Karen? Just the thought of Karen and Ray getting down, child. Get out of here, child. We love us some Ray, honey, but we don't want to see Ray getting down, honey. No. That's like how much we loved Greg Leaks. God rest his soul. You know we loved us some Greg Leaks. You hear me? Love Greg Leaks. But we ain't want to see Greg banging on Nene. Not at all. Not at all. Now, child, you throw Candy and Todd up in a room, we watching. We want to see what's going to go down. How much is going to go down and who else is going to be involved, honey. That's something interesting. Candy and Todd. Hell, going over there to marry the medicine, child. You throw Contessa and Scott in a room, we watching. You know, there's some couples that, okay, we all right, yeah, we be a fly on the wall and see what's really going down. And some couples, not so much. We don't want to see Jackie and listen. We don't want to see Jackie and Curtis. Not at all. We don't want to see Jackie doing nothing with nobody. We love Jackie. We don't see Jackie doing nothing with nobody. You understand? Not at all. And anyway, look, that I could go to a whole nother video about that, but just know we don't want to see Ray and Karen bumping uglies at all. And don't want to hear nothing about it. Karen, shut up. Anyway, moving on. And Karen looks really, really good in this. This whole thing all the way through. Her confessional look, gorgeous. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. The hair is... Yeah, Karen. Yeah. Yeah. You're earning your right to drag Giselle all season long on Real Housewives of Potomac because you clean over here on your special. So good job. Anyway, so they all go, they have their party. The party over at Karen's house, they have a DJ and the food looked great. It really nice party. Everybody was really sharp. Really sharp. The last ones to come down, they were waiting on Alyssa, Sharon, and Raven, and they did. They all looked really nice. Miss Raven was done. Done, honey. She was done. They come on out, and they were like, all right, look at them, child. Everybody looked good. The men wore suits. It was nice. It was very nice. Now, all along, we've been hearing about Val coming, and she was bringing this date. Nobody knows who the date is. Her kids don't know who it is, and they ain't feeling it. And then once they seen who it was, honey, David Ball had a connection. Child, it was this man named Chris. Child, when Val came bopping up in there with Chris, honey, and they said, Chris, I said, oh, and everybody was like, so she's a cougar, honey. She's 20 years older than Chris. Chris is 40. Now, not only is he 40, David and the sister, they know Chris. Chris used to play the drums for David or some stuff down at church. Listen, they know Chris, okay? But I'm going to say this, and this, I'm shady. Oh my God, this is shady, but I don't care. Where do 40 look like that? Only in Surrey County. Because that is one rough looking 40, honey. I looked at that, Chris, and I paused and I rolled it back and I looked again. 40? Where? That man don't look no 40. That man look perfectly suited to be walking around with Val's old ass. He don't look no 40. That's a rough looking 40. He's a nice looking man, but he don't look no 40. He look old as hell. He don't look no damn 40. I said, ooh, that's a rough looking 40. But whatever. David wasn't taking it so well, and I understand that. I mean, that's how boys and their mamas, like, seriously. Nobody want their peer banging their mother. Anyway, however, get on over it, David Chow. And Karen's like, your mother's a beautiful woman. Don't nobody want their friends banging on their mama, okay? Not cute. Anyway, moving on. Everything went well with the party. Karen said she decided not to have the conversation with Val because they were like, oh, you going to talk to her at the party. Child, Val got over to telling Karen about her guns and how she had named all her guns. Karen was like, no, I'm not talking about it. I'm talking to her tonight, honey. Let her enjoy herself. She's here all dressed up with her little man friend. Let her enjoy herself. We'd rather talk about how she's a cougar and she's screwing this child, honey. We'd rather talk about that. So that was that. And then they go on. So the next day, they all pack up and they go on down to the house in Surrey. And down to the farm. And they decide they're going to go fishing. They're going fishing. So they were doing that. And that's where Karen pulls Val to the side. Her and Aunt Val sitting over there on the side. And they talking. And it didn't get too far, until we cliffhangered into the next episode. But Karen said, yeah, so the kids pulled me aside and they wanted me to talk to you. And she said, talk to me about what? What do they want? And child, that's where we actually cut out at. It cut out right there. Karen looking nervous, Val looking like, who said what and why, honey? So that's where we at. This is going to be pretty good. It's going to be a pretty good, because the way it was going at first, I thought it was just going to be a one episode thing. The way it was rolling, like it was really rolling through at a really good pace. I said, we'll be to the end of this. I said, oh, so maybe it's a one shot deal. No, they was just buttering up our bread, honey. The spaghetti comes out later. I said, oh, well, good evening. Can't wait. Anyway, listen, this has been season 1, episode 1 of Karen's Grand Dame reunion. It's good. Keep watching. I'm going to keep reviewing. Y'all keep watching. I think it's going to be fun. I do. The family's interesting. They are very interesting. They all look alike. All of them look alike. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all next week. Later.